Well, I'm out here looking at the Park Avenue today. I've noticed when I was driving it on the dirt roads, you could kind of hear a clunking noise when you go over the washboards, and I thought maybe it was something in the suspension, so I thought it might have been my sway bar in link that I put on. So I went under there and I tightened that up, and I took it for a little drive, and I still hear it. And I've looked over the suspension, and I don't really see anything that stands out as making a noise. And you can't get it to do it, you know, just bouncing on the car. So I've actually gotten in here and I've started looking around at stuff, and aside from the obvious mess under there, up here looks good. But what I noticed, if you look down there, I don't really know how well this camera is going to pick it out, but I'm going to try to get you in close, is that mount there. I mean, it's obviously worn and cracked, but at the very bottom it almost looks like it's broken off. Now, I don't have the best vision in the world, but it looks like that's, let's see if I can point to it. It almost looks like that bottom part is completely off of that, allowing this whole thing to flop up and down. And that's the mount that holds the transmission and everything from flopping too far forward. And I'm wondering if I hit bumps and stuff that actually hits down there a little bit and makes that metallic, that thunking noise. I don't have the money to fix it now, but you know, I'll just have to add it to my list. Whoa, hey, how'd you get all zoomed in like that? Wow, that's what happens when you're not paying attention. But when I get around to fixing it, I'll have to add that to my list, I think. I'm going to go ahead and crawl under it and make sure I don't see anything else, but that kind of sucks. Those mounts ain't cheap. Well, I took a look at that rear mount, and I couldn't see much of it, but I don't think it was any better off than the front one was, so I might have to add that to my list of things to buy. But there's one other thing I wanted to see, and that was to put it in gear and see how much the engine rocks when you give it gas and you put it in gear and take it out and whatnot. But I'm only one guy, and I can't do that by myself, and so I figured I'd take the camera here and have you guys help me, and I'd mount it up here and look at the engine. But I broke my little vice grip stand for the camera quite a while back, so it kind of brings me to another little video, I guess. I figured I'd make one. The other one was completely broke, I couldn't fix it, so I took a big chunk of copper wire that was really thick stuff, and I twisted it all together and put a little camera mount on one end, and I attached it to the vice grips on this one. And I'm thinking it'll work pretty good if I just go ahead and clip it on there, or wherever I can clip it. I can probably clip it there with both hands, and then mount the camera on top of this, and then you can watch the engine for me and tell me how much it moves. Alright, well, it's not quite as sturdy as the other one was. It does have a little bounce to it, but that's what you get for using copper wire, I guess. But it seems to work good enough, so I'm going to go ahead and hop in the car, fire it up, and we'll see what happens. Well, now I suppose I'll watch the video and see how much it moves. Well, now I'm kind of curious to see what that mount itself does. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're at a different angle, that big box right there. I just want to see how much that moves. Well, I just watched the video and that you could see that mount, the bottom on the right hand side, come up and down when I put it in drive and reverse. So definitely have to get a new one of those, and might as well do the back while I'm in there. Yeah, this little mount comes in handy. It's fairly stiff. I like it. Oh, and on a side note there, we looked at my mom's 01 LeSabre, and it's going to need a ball joint and a wheel bearing. So I'll be doing that sometime soon, I think. I also ordered the new intake. I ordered a new intake for it because it had an intake leak, and I figured, you know what, it's not that much more just to get a whole new upper intake, the better design one. And I got, of course, all the gaskets. I got lower intake gaskets for it. Not this car, my mom's car. And I'm going to be doing that at some point too. And I think now that I have some sort of a stand thing, I might hang you up so you can actually see what I'm doing. But that'll come in probably sometime next week, maybe. I won't do the intake at the same time I do the ball joint, so that'll be a little bit later on.